Good morning, EN100, and welcome to what is our first day of class. My name is Professor Hyzy, just in case you didn't already know that, and I'll be taking the next couple of minutes to go over our syllabus and to address a couple of questions that I've already gotten from a number of people so far. So let's get going. First, the questions. The first has to do with when we're going to meet. That's a difficult question to answer because really there is no when about it. We'll be running our course with what's called asynchronously. In other words, there will never be any time when we all sit in front of our computer screens and pretend like we're in class together. Rather, I'll be posting all the necessary materials for you on Blackboard, telling you which of those materials you'll need, and leaving it up to you to use those materials to complete your assignments as need be. The other part of that, again, having to do with when, has to do with when everything will be due for the entire week. Every Monday morning, I'll be giving you a weekly to-do list. This is a list of things to do for that week. All of those things on the to-do list will be due by Sunday, that is the following Sunday, at 11:59 p.m., right? So there you've got our weekly sort of ebb and flow for our semester. The other question I've got from a few people has to do with the textbook. Specifically, I've been asked, do we have to buy one? The answer is categorically no, not for this course. Absolutely not. We'll deal with a lot of online resources. We'll have a couple of open educational resource textbooks that we go to. We'll take a look at YouTube and Wikipedia and the OWL at Purdue University. But all these things are free resources, so no, there's no textbook you have to buy. With that, I'm going to get started in our look at the syllabus. I do recommend that you pause my video now and pull up a copy of the syllabus so that you can follow along. That's available to you in Blackboard in the syllabus and course info section. So if you want to do that, go ahead and do it now. All right, hopefully if you paused me, you had enough time to go do that, so we're going to jump in. First things first, as they say, this is EN100, Composition 1 Rhetorical Strategies. All that means to you is that it's the first semester composition class, and this is the first one that's credit-bearing. Following that, the program is English, of course, and my name is Professor Andrew Hyzy. If you do need to refer to me, Professor Hyzy, Mr. Hyzy, just Professor, any of those things is fine. Given that we're not all together in the classroom 2 or 3 days a week, knowing how to contact me is particularly important here. My campus and office number doesn't matter much. We're not going to be on campus. The instructor phone, you could certainly call that and leave me a message, and I'll get an alert that a message has been left. But that alert's going to come through my email, which of course means that email is the best way to get in touch with me regardless of how you need to do that. Lastly, take a look at the office hours here. I'll be holding virtual office hours through WebEx. That's SUNY Erie's version of Zoom. And that'll be Monday and Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And just below that, of course, you've got a direct link to my WebEx room. If you click that, as long as you're running a standard web browser, you should get right there. You'll be able to talk to me there during the scheduled hours. Going on to the course description, you could read this if you really feel like it, but if you're here and you're already listening to me do this, you've got a good idea of what this is. It's a writing class, it's a composition class. There is a note in bold just below the usually formatted text that again specifies that will be asynchronous, so I do recommend taking another look at that. That way you've got some idea of exactly how the course is going to work. Moving on, in Section E, Text and Course Materials. Again, this just lists a couple of the free materials we'll use. There's no course textbook specified there. F, Library Resources, doesn't matter a whole lot to us. Down the road in the semester, we'll deal with the library resources as they exist online. But that will be, again, down the road. And I'll make sure to post lots of tutorials about how to do that. For the course outcomes, you don't really need to worry about those at this moment, but every time we have a new assignment, you'll see that that assignment has actually been tied to specific course outcomes it addresses. So when we do get new assignments, I'll spend a little bit of time talking about what they're supposed to accomplish for us. Going on, the next section to take any note of is J, Grading Determination. Couple of important things here. The first one being one that I simply can't say enough because at the end of every semester somebody's unhappy that they didn't understand this. The course is graded out of a possible 1,000 points. And that's all there is to it. So even though at the end of the course Blackboard might tell you something else based on the number of points that you actually attempted, in the end there are 1,000 points available. You'll be graded based on the number of points you got out of those 1,000. That's it. And in Section J, you can see what those grade equivalencies are. So I do recommend making sure that you can get to that so that after midterm, you can easily access this document and you've got a good idea of what your final score and grade are going to be. In Section K, this just lists out the various assignments we're going to have. Take a look at it if you like, but we'll deal with each along the way, so it's not like you've got to know what all these things are at this moment. And attendance requirements, again, you've got a little bit of regurgitation there, talking about what it means to run asynchronously. And it does say that I'll be recording and assessing attendance based on how well you complete the daily and weekly exercises we've got to do. So I'll be watching that. In terms of expectations, be respectful. Make sure you remember that there's someone sort of across the computer screen on the other side who's human just like you, who is also looking for some understanding and otherwise courteous behavior. So, just act according to the way you'd want to be acted towards. We do have limited access to the Student Success Center, even though we're online. If you have a learning disability or if in high school you had an individualized educational plan, this would be worthwhile. I'd recommend seeking out one of these people. Granted, we're not on campus, but if we were, we would be in North Campus, so you might as well start with Aaron Garman, and you can see his name listed there, along with his physical location and his phone number. Skip the topical outline. Really, that's just for me. That's got to be there so that everyone knows what the broad topics are. Again, starfish, not all that important to us right now. If it does come up down the road, I'll address it. Academic integrity, we're going to talk a lot about. Actually, this is going to have a lot to do with the very first writing project we do, but suffice it to say that there is a document in the syllabus and course info section that both defines academic integrity and also talks a bit about what will happen if there are academic problems or lacks of academic integrity in academic work. So certainly look at that. Plus the course acceptance policy form that you'll have to fill out, among other things, implies that you've read that definition of academic integrity and you agree to it. So, of course, you want to make sure you've read it. At this point, that completes my run-through of the most important parts of the syllabus. If you have any questions, I will be available through email, of course, and also through virtual office hours. So we'll get those questions ironed out no matter what. Thanks for your attention, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.